Good morning or good evening, everybody, and as you can see, welcome. After seeing the initial video of Moving Fans by Jake Elton Crafts, I, like many others, became inspired by the animations through Redstone, and I started looking for ways to implement movement into my own survival server, which is the one that we're looking at right now. I'm not the most hardcore fan of Minecraft, and before that video came out, I wasn't even remotely as invested in Redstone as I am today. But honestly, this animation revolution has sent me on a path of hyperfixation, trying to learn all the redstone tricks just so I can make something cool as well. More specifically, to find a way to create a natural geyser, as I thought it would be the perfect addition for the spot over here. We all know the trick of bouncing arrows on a slime block to create a fountain or splashing water effect. I decided to start there and see if I could make it jump up every minute or so instead of just every tick. For this, I created a system where the water stays dispensed above the arrows almost all of the time. This means that they will receive drag from the water and they will never reach the top when they get shot up by the pistons. Then every once in a while, the water will get absorbed. It allows the arrows for a brief moment to pass through, and it creates this great, very nice looking geyser effect. Right afterwards, obviously, the water will be redispensed so that on the next upward cycle of the piston, the arrows will be stopped by the water again, and it won't have like the repeating geysers that activate too many times, which is unnatural if you would ask me. I think we're just about ready to see one or two of the big water explosions. Oh, there we go. Right on cue, actually. And the second one. There we go. For a few days, I was very happy with this. Until 2 days ago, I think at this point, Jake Elton drops another video. In it, a Discord user called Spore made his own natural geyser using a completely different method than the one that I was using. Now, very exciting to see, but I saw that it was jumping a little less high than the one that I have over here, even though it seemed way more reliable in execution. What if we could combine those ideas? Welcome to my redstone world, where I have taken my time to recreate Spore's version of this geyser that works by dispensing water through these 3 water dispensers, shoving the soul block underneath, which creates the bubbles. To showcase what works, the arrow drops, you can shoot it upwards through this thing. Which, I mean, we've seen this, right? Jake Elton has already showcased this on video. It's just very nice to look at. It's still so cool. But then when you want to catch it, you dispense the water in the things, and it catches it perfectly. There's no issue. The arrow can stay afloat forever. You can walk away then at that point, which is great. We would love that. The only kind of issue I have with this is that we can only reach 4 blocks of height due to the fact that we have so much in between stuff here with the piston having to be so low that it almost feels like it's just a very tiny geyser thing, but we want it to sprout like a very big explosion. So we've seen this. I'm not gonna go too deep into this, which I'll showcase real quick just so you can see the height. What I'm talking about. It only goes right here up until this block. Oh shit, I should probably catch it so that water makes sure that the arrow doesn't despawn. What I've done over here is just created a system that does exactly the same thing basically. The only difference is that when the arrow gets shot up on the timing that you want it to catch. So obviously, actually let me turn this thing off real quick. Why is this? No, broke the machine. Let me fix that real quick. But this is what happens when I accidentally put redstone on top of that, which made it break. But basically, oh, that's how I see. I think I was trying to right click this one. What happens is when you trigger this, it shoots up. And you can see, ooh, so high. It reaches so high. Look at that. I mean, it's the same height. Obviously, we just have been able to lower the surface quite a lot. Which, oh, this it seems like I'm cheating a little bit because, right, you have the surface right here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks of height compared to the 4 we have over here, which it's basically just 2 dispensers that we have been able to take out of the process. But it's an improvement, right? We're going in the right direction. Maybe one day we can have a dispenser-less geyser still happening or something. Who knows? But you can shoot this thing upwards. You would automate this system, obviously. But then at any point during the cycle, if you want it to stop, you don't even have to wait until it's like firing upwards. You can just flick this lever, and it'll be stopped. What happens is this thing shoots the arrow 1 tick after the water from this one has been dispensed. So by the time the arrow comes here, it hits the water, it gets added drag from the water, and it only reaches way less high than what it does normally because of the added drag. And because of its lower height, it has way less velocity coming down, so that by the time that the soul sand gets extended, the bubbles form, the arrow falls here, it gets collected easy and nice, without any issue. Now, to automate this, obviously you need a way to break this system before you turn it off, because otherwise what will happen is this piston will steal this block, because it's just so slow to retract. Which when we activate it again, it's so good. Now there is one issue with this part, which we fixed in this upcoming one, the automation, but it is important to know about, because otherwise you'll be asking yourself like, why is this thing here? Because it wasn't like one of the core mechanisms of how this works, which is basically just the same thing as how this works. It's just that we have this firing the water before the arrow gets shot up. And that issue is the following, is that when you deactivate it... I'm stupid. Dude, I just broke it. But what happens sometimes is that the soul sand retracts too slow. So the water gets retracted, the arrow falls down. Then the soul sand gets retracted, and it sort of drags the arrow into this like little space in between, and in rare occasions it will actually get stuck like in between these 2 blocks, which you don't want, obviously. So we have found a solution for this, which is basically you stop this from happening, and then you put a piston extender like over here that then it, you know, it powers and depowers basically like this when it's not powered, and then when it is powered, it'll activate this, which extends it. Then the signal goes through, it still activates that piston, but then when you turn it off, it instantly gets retracted, the soul sand instantly goes back, and then only the water gets pulled back. So the arrow will always fall straight down, which is the difference. Which I thought I just broke the machine. What happened here? Oh no, I fixed that, obviously. But yeah, so we can shoot the arrow upwards, and then when we want to turn it off, we just activate it, and oh, I did break the machine. Oh yeah, because of this thing. My goodness, I am so stupid. We have arrived here at the automated version of the machine. I will quickly go over the processes that are added to this, as most of it is now automated, I mean, obviously. And since most of it is automated and based on the same circuits as we've just talked about, I won't go over it too much, but just to explain, when you press this button, it activates a T-flop. That is basically what is keeping everything on or off. The T-flop activates the same circuit of the soul sand as we saw before, which now has the added piston that will activate as soon as this thing gets turned on. It completes the circuit that will arrive 9 ticks later to extend the soul sand, which is just enough time for the arrow that was shot up to be hit by water and fall back down. For that to complete, we still have the same circuit over here, which is the activation of the dispenser through the observer. Then we still have the same circuit down here, which is the observer, which powers this piston down here with the kill switch that we discussed over there. That makes it only activate when this thing is turned on. So the only time, actually I'm wrong there, I'm sorry, it's the opposite, right? So only when this is off is this thing activated, which means that this thing is shooting all the time. So when we put an arrow in here, it now means the geyser is active, basically, when the light is off. You could always make it so that the light is on to indicate the geyser, but whatever, that's up to your preference. Just to keep it simple here, when the copper light is off, it means the geyser is active. So it means the geyser is active when the light is off. That means that when we do want it to activate, there will be needed 1 pulse into this piston extender on the timing that we want it to, so it can just hit the water as it's coming down, or going up, so that it will receive a reduced height. As you can see, we can compare it right here. This goes pretty high, and then when I activate it, it just goes whoop, very low, and it gets caught right here by the water. We can also see right here, this got turned off. Because this is on, it has a bit of a delay, so that the very first time that we turn it on, it is still in the on position, which means that this signal can reach. But then when this is on, it means that this water is flowing here. We don't want this to activate, so we have a no signal, an inverted signal basically, stopping that from being powered. And the same thing happening here with this one. It also stops this one from being powered, which is the clock that just shoots the piston all the time whenever you want it. So you can, this is a classic Ito clock, everybody knows it, I suppose. You fill it with however long you want it to take to shoot upwards, but that is the same basic systems that we have over here, just automated. So I'll activate it a few times so you can see what happens. Clock is disconnected because the signal is on. We turn it off, it drops. We could see that the soul sand retracted as the very first thing, and whenever we want to turn it off, this works perfectly again. So we turn it off, the soul sand gets retracted first, then the water gets taken away, everything falls, and this clock gets reconnected, so it will start launching the geyser again. There is really nothing else going on over here. I have just made a more compact version over here, which oh, it is already catching this. This is exactly the same thing, just in a more compact version. I won't explain it, but I will hover around it a few times so that if people want to recreate it just the way that I recreated it here, you can do so easily. I'll turn it off so it's shooting the geyser upwards, and you can see it reaches the very nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks of height. It fits within an 8 by 6 rectangle. It's not really a square, counting from this block in the corner to this block. It gets activated. We have this piston that can extend, which catches the signal, so soul sand gets activated. We have the same thing happening over here with the observer, activating the water dispenser. Then the signal gets inverted, and they both go down into the kill switches, which are to disconnect the clock and also to disconnect the signal that would be sent through this observer with the same starting pulse, if we want to catch the arrow again. when we want to leave the area. So that is basically about it. You can see it has just launched. I'm done with it. I want to leave the area. Oh, it catches us so nicely and easily. And we can just leave now. Well, I still have you guys here. I figured it would be a great opportunity to also showcase something else I was working on, which is sort of a new type of dance floor, which is the classic, moving lights. But then I figured, why not put, moving glass over top of it so that the light that gets shown through the glass gets this nice moving shade. Like you can actually see the light sort of moving over the screen. I don't know if this can also inspire anybody. It's definitely not in a position where it's super good. And I think with the following update, the fancy lighting update that can follow in Minecraft, I hope that this will look so much better than it does right now. But I think it's already pretty cool. I'm thinking about maybe adding it. The way it works is, well, I'm not going to explain like the floor part with the lights. That's like just observers doing a pattern thing. Everybody's seen that. Just put a bunch of pushing pistons like over top of it in a whole pattern, like a grid like pattern. There's just like 3 of these just stacked next to each other, and then 3 of them going through, and it creates this, I think, well, we can see inside here there's a very big space actually that you can use as a sort of dance floor. Now I do have to say, like, you can see the pistons here at the edges. You'd probably, like, if you really want this to look very neat and detailed, or professionally taken care of, like, you'd probably make it 1 tile less so you can hide all the pistons and all the work kind of thing that's happening. But I was just testing out some stuff here and figured for the people that might still be here for the Geyser fountain, that this could also be a very interesting thing. So just to recap real quick, I want to thank Spore, the Discord user, for this grandiose idea. I want to thank Jake Kelton Crafts as well for showcasing it to everybody. And I hope that just as much as it inspired me to try and create a little better version, that maybe this video can also inspire you to do the same thing and go out there and improve someone else's work, or maybe even this one, because as much as it is a very cool compact design that we can see over here, it's still just not shooting that high like you would want, perhaps. I don't know, like, I'm dreaming here, right? But if we could have the piston be like almost over here, like imagine you'd reach like all the way up to this point and just standing sort of on eye level with it. Like, how impressive would that be? But either way, take care everybody. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.